why did I want an explant? Tons of questions asked if I was getting a lift. Surgery scar. Someone said, how does your boyfriend feel about this? Is he gonna miss the implants? Good morning, sunshines, and welcome back to my channel. Today has been about 6 weeks since my breast explant surgery, and so I thought we would do our explant Q&A today. I did ask questions quite a while ago, probably like shortly after I got the surgery done, or right before I got the surgery done, I don't remember. I've got my Q's, and I'm here to let you know all about it. Let's dive right in. These bad boys right here are my implants. These were in my chest, which is just wild to me now. And I am a very satisfied participant in the surgery. I think number one question I was asked would be, why did I want an explant? And I think those that ask that question are probably new here because I have been complaining about these things for so long. I got my surgery when I was 22 years old. I was 22. I wanted to feel more like a woman, and I had just done my first bikini competition, so I had no body fat, not none, but like little body fat compared to how I was before I started working out doing competitions. That is why I got the surgery. I just wanted to feel busty, womanly. I feel also, like, no lie, it was kind of trending at the time, like big boobs were trending. That is why I got them. Now, particularly now that they're out, I feel like it looks younger without them in. I feel like they age you a bit because they do make you look more womanly, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense, but just throwing it out there. So that the main reason that I wanted them out was not to look younger though. They just felt very heavy. I felt top heavy. I felt I couldn't wear any clothes I wanted to wear. I would put on things and I felt they looked very like aggressively more sexualized because I could not like hide these guys. And because breast implants are very high, they give you a lot of like the top volume as opposed to like if you had larger natural breasts. And so the top volume is what I felt gave me that super sexualized appearance, and it made me unable to wear a lot of things I wanted to wear because I don't personally, with my body and how I like to dress and stuff, I just don't vibe with that look. And so it was just very difficult for me to dress for like 5 or 6 years. I really did enjoy my breasts the first couple years I had them. Probably I was pretty into it. It's probably just the last like 5 years that I have really just not vibed with them anymore. And I always say, if you're gonna get a surgery, wait until you're 25 because that's when your brain's fully developed and you can make better decisions for yourself. And I wish I had waited to get any tattoos or surgery until I was 25. And that's just my own personal experience. I don't really care what anyone else says. But if I could tell myself that when I was 18 to 22, just be like, just wait till you're 25 and then see if you still feel that way. Because I don't think I would have done it. I don't think I would have, but I don't know, maybe I had to have had the experience and not like them to truly appreciate now not having them. You know what I mean? So that is why I wanted an explant. I should probably not be holding these in my hand because I'm gonna play with them the whole time. They're kind of fun. I don't even know why I completely forgot about this question, but it's so commonly asked. People ask if you had any BII symptoms, which is breast implant illness. I personally don't feel that I had any. I don't feel any different now that they're out, and it's been 6 weeks, so zero differences in my opinion. I don't have better skin, less brain fog. I think those are kind of things that people mentioned. When I was at the plastic surgeons, I did mention breast implant illness. I think they asked me maybe if I had any symptoms. And basically, a lot of people can have, or how they explained it to me, was a lot of people can have an autoimmune response to it. I don't know what percentage of people do. For example, like when I wear any jewelry that's not like real gold or silver, my ears will like start crusting and they'll, like, I get this like weird rash thing. Or if I wear a necklace that is not good quality, I'll get a really bad rash, and like my body just kind of rejects certain kinds of jewelry. I don't know exactly what ingredient it doesn't like, but I definitely have a reaction to that. So they explained that it's sort of like that. And some people's bodies just don't accept a foreign object being there. But obviously a ton of people's bodies don't have an issue with it, I think. I don't feel that I did. That's just my personal experience. I'm not negating anyone else's experience. I 100% think that tons of people have very negative experience with that as well, and that's totally valid. But I personally didn't, that I know of, that I noticed. I don't know. I've had a couple people say that explanting was a harder recovery for me. I felt nothing, absolutely nothing. Like I felt I could go do push-ups the next day, and I did not need my pain pills whatsoever. I think a large part of that could be because I did it without anesthesia, because I usually find that the hardest thing to recover from. Anesthesia is just like really hard on your body. So I can't relate to people that have said that. I've had a couple people say that, or maybe it was the same person that said it more than once, I don't know, because I just don't recall. But explanting was so easy. Like I had a couple cramps, maybe like a couple chest cramps. Your chest kind of like goes, like it splays out like this, and it goes into like your right above your armpit, and that is where I would cramp. But I barely even noticed that they were out, except that I just like the look of them a lot more, and they're a lot smaller, obviously. I genuinely don't feel any different. The only thing that hurt were the actual incisions, and those, it was not like maybe a Tylenol. I don't even think I took Tylenol. It didn't bother me that much. I don't think I have a super high pain tolerance. I'm not like, so that wasn't my experience, but I said it out loud because maybe that would be someone else's experience. So I was just throwing it out there, but not mine. I can't even imagine how that would be personally. I don't know how that would be. Tons of questions asked if I was getting a lift. I did not personally get a lift. Perhaps some people could want or need one. The reason I think I personally didn't need one is I have had 2 breast augmentations before this, and on my second augmentation, it was kind of like a reconstruction, quote unquote. I just had laterally like bottomed out. And so when I got my second set of implants, like replaced the first set, I had to get extra skin taken out because he didn't want me to have loose skin, I guess. I don't really know. He did take out the extra skin. So my scars from my second surgery, not from my explant, are massive. Like they go all the way over here and they're all the way under my boob. And I don't really care. It is what it is, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people are super concerned about scars. I'm just like, it's whatever to me. Okay, I'm going to attempt to show you my scars because I had a lot of people ask that. So again, I have massive scars from my second surgery, so keep that in mind. But you'll be able to tell which ones are old and which ones are new. So my previous surgery goes all the way up here. They're kind of white. This is the explant scar. As you can see, it's very small. Same over here. Again, this is my previous surgery. You can even see this is where my drain was, this little tiny one right here. And then surgery scar, and then I have a tiny one right here. But again, if you followed me for the last 6 years and you haven't noticed the scars, I don't really notice them. My boob does kind of like, you know, there's a indentation there, so I think it covers the underneath pretty well. But obviously this part shows quite a bit. But even if I have a bikini on or like a side boob kind of fit, I think I've covered it with makeup like once, but I don't really care that much. I do know a lot of other women that have gotten explants for whatever reason they did, and I think they all look phenomenal. Like I've not seen one person and been like, oh, she should have kept those, you know, like not once. What I was personally going to plan for is I wanted to get them taken out and then assess, and if I didn't like the way they looked, then I could go back and ask for a lift, or if I wanted to put implants back in, I could. Although my intentions would be like to potentially think to have kids and then perhaps do implants after, because I've heard your breast can change a lot during childbirth and pregnancy and stuff. So I would rather wait until my body went through those natural changes before I went and artificially changed it again, to make sure that, you know, they already went through that before. That was a really wordy way to say that, but you get what I mean. A lot of people are asking about the like sagging or anything, and they said it could take 6 months to a year for them to fully, like, I guess the skin to come back. But like I feel like I don't, like this offers me 0 support whatsoever. So I don't feel that they sag or anything. Again, that could be caused from my second surgery from the removal of extra skin. I guess there's a little bit of extra skin, but it's absolutely like, I feel great, honestly, I feel great. Because implants, how they sit like this, they end up just adding a lot of volume to the top is how I felt. Like they would stretch out this skin, which wouldn't have been stretched out before with natural implants. But I feel that having a little bit of extra skin here doesn't really do anything. Like I don't feel that it has a big effect on quote unquote sagginess down here. Again, this is my personal experience, but that's the best way I can explain that. So again, I have massive scars from my second surgery, not from my explant. My explant scars are very tiny. He took it out with like this much space. I don't know how. Well, I do know how because I was awake during it and I felt him like tugging that bow out, but they're very small incision scars. Someone said, how does your boyfriend feel about this? Is he gonna miss the implants? Just wondering. I'm not gonna lie, concerned about that as well, because the only thing I did love about my implants, I hated dressing in them, I did not like so many things about them, but I did like the way I looked like naked with them. I was like, looks really good, you know? And so I was worried that I might lose my like naked confidence without them. But since I got them out and they look so good, in my opinion, sorry, if others don't think so, that's fine. But I just like love the way they look, and my boyfriend also is like, we're both pleasantly surprised because we didn't know what to expect. Zero upsetness. I also think that when you're grabbing a breast with a breast implant, even though I have a good amount of breast tissue, it's still like overall like a hard, not hard feeling, I don't know. I think they're more pleasant to squeeze now. Not that I go around squeezing my own boobs. There was nothing wrong with this, but no, zero disappointments. So I think completely valid concern, and I had the same thought. So a couple people asked what my surgery was like and why I didn't do a full capsulectomy. So basically, will my neighbors stop taking their trash out, please? Actually, in fact, is it Wednesday? It is Wednesday. It's my gardener. It's not even my neighbors. He's just slamming things around. My surgery experience. I went in to the plastic surgeon's office, obviously asking a lot of questions. They offered me a local anesthesia or a general anesthesia option. The difference between local and general is local means that they only numb the area, you are not unconscious. General is a much bigger process. You have to go completely under, you have to have an anesthesiologist on board, and it is very hard on your body. From my experience, the last time that I had this done, I was getting an appendix removal. I was getting my appendix removed. I had a bit of a panic attack when I was getting my appendix removed because I wasn't at home and I was by myself and I was just visiting an area, and there was a lot of panic and I thought I was gonna die, and it was just a very scary experience. The last time I underwent general anesthesia, when they offered the local, which I did not know was an option, I jumped on it and I wanted to do that. And I don't believe that they can do a capsulectomy under local. From my understanding, that's why I picked it. So that's why I didn't get one. And also they said that if you don't have any BII symptoms, that it's not like super essential. Like they would recommend that for someone with BII symptoms to take everything out, but a capsulectomy takes out the natural capsule that surrounds the breast, that your body creates surrounding your breast implant. So I didn't get that taken out, and honestly I feel that that could possibly help a little bit with my volume because there's a bit in there, but they said that it's a natural part of my body and that it shouldn't negatively affect me. If you know or think otherwise, let me know. But also, I did say I don't feel any different before and after. Maybe that capsule of self-made tissue is what is the difference. I don't know. Yeah, I did not want a capsulectomy. I didn't care that much. I just wanted these big boys out, you know? And someone said something about breast mold around implants. I've never heard that in my life. I did not know that was an issue. That sounds awful. I had someone ask about the internal bra that I had put in my second surgery. So in my second breast implant augmentation, the one where I got the big scar, they also put what's called a Siri mesh internal bra. But that is something that over time becomes my own tissue, I guess. So it's almost like those dissolvable stitches that it just kind of becomes one with the body. I don't know how it works whatsoever. Again, I'm not. But I asked my plastic surgeon who did my explant multiple times about it. I was like, this okay. I got that internal mesh bra thing. This isn't gonna be weird with that. It's not gonna be in the way. And he said, absolutely not, you're totally fine. Someone asked the cost of my surgery. My surgery was $3,000 exactly. And if I got general anesthesia, it bumps up to $4,500. I went to Dr. Park in Oceanside. I think it's called North County Plastic Surgery, something like that. And they did a fabulous job. I loved the entire staff, phenomenal, 10 out of 10 recommend. But yeah, it was $3,000, which I thought was a reasonable price. I mean, I am about to get like this gum graft surgery done. It's $6 grand. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's double the price of my explant, but I'm trying to get my insurance to cover that, so. A couple people asked if you needed drains. I believe if you get a capsulectomy breast explant, you do need drains. I did need drains after my second surgery. I didn't need drains because I didn't do capsulectomy. Again, mine was completely under local anesthesia. And I just wanted to explain like how a local anesthesia surgery works. So got there, my surgery was at 1 p.m. There was no, I didn't have to fast or anything. I could eat breakfast. I made sure I had like no caffeine or anything that day. I didn't want to like make my heart race. And I didn't take fish oil for 2 weeks. Like that was my main like prep for it. Went in 1 p.m. Surgery took about an hour. I was awake the whole time. They put a drape over where I was so you couldn't see me, and then Teddy sat behind me just with my head because I was just laying there. And I took a Xanax before. They prescribed me just like a little baby one. I was very nervous. There was one moment during surgery where I felt pain. He does a couple injections and those like pinch, but I don't really get bothered by like shots and stuff. I don't mind. During surgery there was a moment where I felt a little like shock, you know, and I was like, ugh. And then he asked if I felt something. I said yes. He did some more numbing whatever, and I didn't feel anything after that. It was fine. But that shock did scare me because I don't know if you guys know this because I had no idea, but they like cauterize you like when there's an open wound to make sure that when they open you up, I guess so you're not bleeding everywhere. Your blood isn't just like gushing out. They're like cauterizing it. I don't know how it works, and it's something with electric currents because they had to put a big patch on me and they were like, this is so you don't get electrocuted. That was a cool concept. I wish I could explain it better, but now that I think about it, I don't really know exactly what that meant. But I did feel a shock during, and that was a little very painful, but it only lasted for like a half a second, and right after he fixed whatever that was, and I didn't feel anything after that. And I mean around the area. Now I could feel pressure, so I know he was sliced into me. That sounds awful. I should word that better, but he told me when he was gonna pull it out, and then he was like, okay, the first one's coming out. It's kind of like a little birthing, you know, and I could feel that there was a tugging sensation. I felt zero pain, like absolutely nothing. I was very nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Like I was sitting there and I was like, is this gonna be okay? Like I don't know what to expect, but no pain. I could feel him tugging it out, and then he would be like, okay, it's out. I couldn't tell that it was in or out. Like I just felt a tugging kind of, as I guess because he's like pulling this through like a smaller hole so he didn't have to make the incision too big, you know? And then yeah, he did the first one and I was like, okay, it wasn't that bad. Oh, now he's using the leaf blower. He did the second one and it was fine. Some people asked about asymmetricalness. So when I got my breast implants, I don't know if it's on here. Yeah, it is 330, 310. So one of these is 20 cc's bigger than the other. I don't know which one. I honestly don't even know which boob it is. I know when I had the implants in though, weirdly enough, this boob sat a little lower, and I was just looking at myself in the mirror to see if I could tell like if one was lower, and it's way less noticeable now. And now I think it's still just a teeny tiny bit lower, but it looks less noticeable to me now. Also, I will say, I'm 31 now, just throwing that out there, and my breast tissue, I have a lot more of it now than I used to like before, for sure. And my boobs are even like shaped a little differently now because I just feel like they look incredible. Again, not trying to cheat my own horn. I'm just like, I'm shocked because I was so nervous that they were gonna look terrible afterwards. I had no idea what to expect. So I'm so pleasantly surprised that they look okay. And I should really look at some other people's experiences. I haven't seen anyone else's like Q&A. I've only like seen their like Instagram pictures after and their videos and stuff. One of the big differences afterwards as well for me that I was really excited about was like range of motion just feeling better. Like I feel like implants just felt like you could tell there was something on your chest just like slightly impending, some kind of range of motion. Not in like a terrible way. I didn't have any problems with it. I never thought about it too much. I never overthought, and I'm an overthinker. But I never really thought too much about that until they were out, and now I'm like, oh yeah, this is like freedom. And I also hated, one thing I hate about implants is that when you get them under the chest, you flex your chest muscles. It would make them, like when you flex your chest muscle, it makes the implant like spread like this. And I just hated that look. I hate, like, it would make the implant like almost go like under my armpit a little bit. And I just, grinding my gears. I hated how that looked. I hated how it felt. I just wanted to avoid like chest movements and anything like that. And I am just so happy that I can do that again. Someone wants to know if they're less sensitive after. I want mine out. They're so sensitive. I don't know what that means. From my experience, mine were sensitive. What I did notice, and the plastic surgeon even said this, which I thought was interesting, he said if you touch the bottom of your breast with the implant in, it feels different. It feels like it's not your body almost. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was almost like something that was like permanently numb underneath. Just like if you poked that tissue, it just felt like it was an odd sensation. And as soon as he said that, I was like, you're so right. Like, it does feel like odd if I just like touch that skin of my body, just like right at the base of my, like where my implant was like resting, I guess. So that was almost like a numb kind of feeling that I couldn't feel. And I never lost sensation in my like areolas, is that the appropriate word for the nips? I never lost sensation there, and afterwards I would say mine are almost more sensitive, oddly enough. I don't know how that works, or if maybe because I don't feel the numbness of like the implant sitting there, I have more sensation in my overall breast. I wanted to answer another question just about expectations afterwards, because that's such a commonly asked question, and because that was my biggest concern as well. I was very nervous that it wasn't gonna look good, and like my boyfriend wasn't gonna be attracted to me anymore. And I was like, what if they just look terrible? Like, I know that I could make them look good in clothes, but I was worried that they would look good when I was naked. And I think regarding another question someone asked was that your implants looked quite natural from an outside perspective. So why do you think that was, or did they explain that? And I believe that the fact that I have natural breast tissue, which I didn't know that I had, because again, when I got mine done, I just done a competition and mine were tiny. So I wasn't sure what breast tissue was left over, but I think based on if you have implants now, based on how much you can see the implant is probably a good starting spot for how much natural breast tissue you have. Because I competed with implants, and when I competed, I could see my implant much more. I could see like more of the outline of it. I had rippling when I had the saline implants, and that is when I had very little breast tissue. But as I gained body fat, and I think your body kind of like matures as a woman a bit over time, or at least that has been my experience on like where my fat distributes to and now, and how it used to distribute when I was like in my late teens, early 20s, as opposed to now my fat distributes a bit differently. And I think luckily that has somewhat been to my boobies to try to like guess. Good morning. I know it's hard to wake up because the sun's in your eyes. Oh, if you're thinking about getting an explant and that's why you're watching this video, I would say that would be a good determining factor on how much you could see your implant. And yeah, the breast tissue was good, very good. I am through all the questions. Again, most common one, skin sagging. I would say from my doctor's advice and from my advice, my what I would say is to discuss with your doctor the possibility of loose skin. My doctor said that they can kind of tell, like looking at you, like what your skin elasticity is like, or he said you don't look like you have skin that will need that. I think if you're older, if you've had kids, there are a lot of like factors that could go into that would affect your skin elasticity, or whether they think you might need a lift or anything else. So it's definitely something to consider and think of. I am 31, I have no children, I have never been pregnant or anything like that, so I haven't had any of that natural like hormonal breast changes in like a pregnancy way, because I know that pregnancy does change your boobs a lot. And also, I think that this doctor, Dr. Park, would recommend that you get them out and wait, and then perhaps come back if you need the lift or really want the lift, or you're unhappy with the perkiness, I guess, of the breast tissue. That's definitely something just super consider with your doctor, and get some consults. A lot of them are free. Most of the time, I think, I've done a few consults before I actually booked this surgery, but a lot of times they'll charge whatever it is, maybe $150 or something, and that will go towards your surgery if you decide to get it. So keep that in mind, I guess. That is my explant experience. It was a breeze, I'm not gonna lie. It was literally the easiest surgery I've ever undergone in my entire life. And if you don't need a capsulectomy and you don't have BII symptoms, like, I think the local anesthesia option was amazing. I hope that you enjoyed this Q&A. I hope it was informative. It was very anecdotal. This is just my experience. Definitely write down all the questions you want to ask your plastic surgeon. Like, have them ready to go. If something pops in your head, if a friend asks you something, you're like, I don't know, I haven't thought about that. Open up notes on your phone, jot it down. That helped me a lot when I would think of things. I asked so many questions. Like, I wanted to make sure that I knew what my expectations should be. So I think that's really important. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm gonna shut up now because I've been rambling for so long. But have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. And just so you know, I have Max in my background still. This is my little area for him, and he's in this urn right here. I got him a better urn, a much nicer one, but that's the one that they gave me at first, and I just wanted you to know that I still love him and think about him, and he's still in the background of my videos. So that's it. I needed to point that out. Okay, love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ta for now. Bye.